morning, Gators. Today's breakfast biography is Booker T. Washington, teacher, speaker, and leader. This book is compiled by Suzanne Slade and is illustrated by Siri Feeney. Booker T. Washington, speaker, teacher, and leader. Booker T. Washington was a great teacher and leader in education. He helped start the Tuskegee Normal School for Teachers, a school for African Americans in Alabama. Booker trained students to become teachers. He also believed students needed to learn job skills such as bricklaying and printing. With these skills, Booker believed students could succeed. Through speeches and writings, Booker shared his ideas about learning. He raised money for his school and helped black and white people get along better. This is the story of Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington was born a slave in 1856. He grew up on a Virginia farm with his mother, brother, and sister. They lived in a one-room cabin with dirt floors. Booker's mother was a farm cook. As a child, Booker did yard work and carried water to the field workers. It was against the law in Virginia for slaves to attend school, so Booker could not go. At times, he walked to school with his owner's daughter and carried her books. When they arrived at the schoolhouse, Booker would take a quick peek inside. He wanted to go in and study too. When Booker was 9 years old, the Civil War ended. It was from 1861 to 1865, and slaves were freed. His family moved to West Virginia. It took Booker and his family several weeks to walk most of the 200-mile journey. When Booker was 9 years old, he began working in a salt furnace in West Virginia. As he worked, Booker dreamed of learning to read. At night, he would often look at an old spelling book. He did not know what the letters stood for. Soon, a school for black children opened nearby. Booker worked early in the morning so he could get to school by 9 a.m. At 16, Booker left home to continue his education at Hampton Normal and Agricultural Institute in Virginia. Hampton Institute was a school that trained African American students to become teachers. He graduated in 1875 and became a teacher. In 1881, Booker was asked to be the principal of a new school in Alabama, the Tuskegee Normal School for Teachers. It was a school for training teachers. When it opened, the school had about 30 students. It had one small shack for a classroom. The shack's roof leaked when it rained, but Booker kept teaching as a student held an umbrella over his head. Every year, more students came to the Tuskegee School. Booker traveled around the country raising money for the school. At first, Tuskegee Normal School was only for future teachers, but within 2 years, the school had also had other classes, such as bricklaying and printing. Soon the school's name became the Tuskegee Normal School and Industrial Institute. By 1883, Booker and his students began making bricks. They used the bricks to build new buildings for the school, and they also sold some of the bricks to earn money for the school. Booker believed that if African Americans worked hard, white people would begin to respect them. He believed that by gaining respect, African Americans also would one day gain equality. In 1895, Booker gave a famous speech in Atlanta, Georgia. In his speech, he said blacks and whites could be separate, but could also work together for the benefit of all. After his speech, Booker was asked to speak all over the country. He had become a spokesman for African Americans. In 1900, Booker helped start the National Negro Business League. The aim of the group was to teach African Americans about business. Branches of the National Negro Business League soon were started in many states throughout the country. In 1901, Booker wrote Up from Slavery. In this book, he wrote about his life and ideas. The book helped change some people's beliefs about education and jobs for African Americans. It also brought more money and students to the Tuskegee Institute. Booker taught and worked for education until he died in his home in Tuskegee, Alabama on November 14, 1915. He was 59 years old. Booker T. Washington changed the lives of many people through education. As a spokesman in his community, Booker voiced his ideas about the importance of education and civil rights. The back of the book has a timeline. 1856, born a slave in Virginia, and died at his home in Tuskegee, Alabama in 1915, November 14th, at age 59. There's also some facts at the back of the book. Like, did you know the Booker did not know the exact date of his birth because slave owners did not keep records of slaves' birthdays? He also never knew who his father was. There's other facts back here, plus a glossary of terms. There's more to learn under books to read and on the web. There's also an index, and there's a list of other biographies in this specific series that you might be interested in. I have other books about Booker T. Washington in the library. If you're interested, you could place a hold. I could check the book out to you and put it out front for you to pick up. Thank you so much for listening to this breakfast biography on Booker T. Washington. Have a great day, Gators.